How we got together. In 2012, Sarah, Greta and I were all chasing our respective careers in acting. Sarah was auditioning as an actress. I was auditioning as well and working in TVC production as a production coordinator and writing short plays. And Greta was an editor and a stand-up comedian. We'd each worked together separately but on very small things. Me and Sarah worked on Bondi Hipsters. Greta and I worked on a short film. And Sarah and Greta worked on a musical comedy play. But it was actually on this night where we were a bit tipsy, aka pretty drunk, at a film festival, and we were watching all our mates in the lineup, and they were all guys, every single film, and they were great, they were fantastic, but we turned to each other and we said, why aren't we doing this? So a week later, we got together at a pub and found a lot of inspiration through several glasses of white wine and came up with several characters. We also made a deal to write and produce and shoot these sketches by a certain date, and we just made sure that we stuck to that. So a month later, we had 10 sketches that we were shooting across 2 weekends. We pulled together about $500 and got together a bunch of like-minded cast and crew for free who were just hungry to make really fun stuff. Up until then, they were used to making ads, which can be quite soul-sucking. No offense to anyone that's in ads, you can suck my soul as much as you want, I need to pay rent. Sarah, Greta and I also had different skill sets that we brought together. I was kind of the head of writing, and also with my production background, I was able to pull a shoot together. Sarah also had production background, so she also helped with the producing. She was ace at marketing, so she did all that back-end stuff. The YouTube, the Facebook, kind of just keeping up. She's also just great at networking and talking to strangers. I suck at it. And Greta was a gun editor and is a gun editor. And editing is one of the most expensive things you need to make content. So for us, that was really great. We've had a free editor for 5 years. At this stage, each of us actually didn't really know each other that well. We'd only worked on a few things together. But we all had this common and equal hunger and drive to go out and make something on our own terms for ourselves and get ourselves out there. Up until then, no one was calling us for that big movie role or that film deal. No one was getting us on a stand-up comedy festival for no reason. We had to kind of, prove it to the world. FYI, no one's given us that yet. It's been 5 years and the quest continues. During that time, we worked around, and even during our full-time jobs, we used most of our fees to pay for the shoots. We used a lot of our sanity to get through it. We worked on holidays, on weekends, and we ended up shooting 2 web series, a short film, and a musical comedy video in a year and a half. So, if you are, this is my PowerPoint presentation skills coming in. Ugh. If you're at a place where you want to make something, but you don't know where or how to start, find your people. Find like-minded writers, directors, collaborators that you've heard amongst your friends or peers that want to do stuff, and just have a coffee with them, get together and jam on some ideas. I mean, you guys are at the perfect place right now. Like, you could literally turn to the stranger next to you and be like, do you want to collaborate and make something? And there you go. I mean, get to know them a little bit first, because they might stab you in the face. I don't know that they're policemen. Once you do, it's true, yeah, they could. That could be good though, like violence is in content. Anyway, once you find your people, set a date. Set a nice realistic date, but something you can work towards. And don't steer off it, just get it done. Don't let your head kind of do that thing where it freaks you out and you can't, go forward. Just do it. And fucking shoot it. That's it. That's another thing that can kind of get you in a little bit of a stuck in the mud, is that it's hard to get the crew and get the things together and, do the backhand and all that kind of stuff. Just do it and just see what happens. And honestly, once you get your first cab off the rank, it's a great start. I'm assuming that actually most of you probably have made some stuff and all that, but this is just our experience. So Where are we? Okay. So our first web series. I'd like to play you a clip from our very first web series, our very first sketch that we shot.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I got held out of it. Kind of hard work. Oh, it's been ages since I've been held.
Hello, hey you look like you could do a long, hard 2-year relationship.
Yeah, he looks like he's up for a big, long relationship.
How dare you?
Sweetheart, yeah, I'm talking to you about your feelings.
She's opening up, take me root, babe.
That'd be great. Come here, talk to me. Want to meet my parents?
She's got good parents.
Well, you don't like parents? Oi! Oi, what are you thinking about?
So what it is.
He breathes the shit out of his pants.
Yeah, don't fucking on him when you're done.
That's it.
My mum will love him.
I want to be your mum.
Don't we all? Fucked up, that fuck is some fun.
Sorry for the swearing. So that was, yeah, like I said, that was the very first sketch that we shot on that very first weekend. It was also the first one we released on YouTube. It's one of our favourites because it still happens to represent what Skitbox is all about, which is taking common everyday occurrences that happen to women that aren't necessarily okay and giving them a little bit of a spin, giving them a satirical kind of flick. It's one that we really love. We are attached to it, but looking back on it, it does make me cringe a bit. You probably noticed that the sound was pretty dreadful, pretty hard to hear. One of the disadvantages of getting crew for free is that you may not have the most experienced people. The soundy on the day, bless his soul, he came on, he wanted to get his resume up, get something on his CV, get some experience, but he was really inexperienced. He'd swapped our receiver packs for our mic packs, and then for most of that sketch he held the boom upside down. Or the wrong way. And we didn't notice either because we hadn't ever, we had no idea about sound. We still don't because it's freaking hard. Not until we got into the edit and, we had several mini aneurysms, but we got there, we got something. It was very, very first lesson that we learned is even in one of those no budget shoots, you got to pay a couple things. You got to pay for your crew's food and coffee, and you got to pay for a soundy. A sound is 50% of your production, so just fork out the cash, get someone who knows what they're doing. And I don't want to be mean to him, but it was just one of those things that, but so this sketch actually got 10,000 views on YouTube within a couple of days of upload, and back in 2012 that was, a bit. So even though it wasn't the best quality, I think it's on like a few 100,000 now, I'm not sure, but even though it wasn't the best quality, we got a lot of love for this one because of its relatability and its shareability. So you don't always need to have the best crew, the best sound, the best quality to make a good sketch or web series or short. As long as the idea or the message is clear and relatable, then you've got a good chance. I mean, having said that, I literally saw a clip on YouTube that wasn't shot that well, but it was of two people, a couple, who each thought they were vampires and they were licking each other's cuts. And that had millions of views. So you can do whatever you want, really, who knows. I mean, it was romantic, like it was lovely. Like they found each other, like who, if you're a vampire and you find another vampire and who enjoys licking your cuts, I mean, that's gorgeous. I cried, it was nice. So we wrote, funded, and and produced everything for this web series. But at the time, one thing that we weren't very confident in was directing. So we aligned with some really great directors to help us on that front, including Christian Van Buren, who you met earlier today from the Van Buren brothers, and his brother Connor. From Jungle, we had great directors like Craig Melville, Al Morrow, Lee Richards. We also worked with Casey Anning and Tom McKeith. We also got an incredible crew. Most of the crew were amazing. They were very professional, made us look professional, and far better at doing what we do. So one of the crew was Tanya Lambert, who is this amazing DOP. She shot for The Moodies, which was on ABC, No Activity, which was on Stan, and a little ditty called Wham Bam Thank You Man, which I'll get to later. There's a show. We also aligned with the Van Buren Brothers YouTube channel to house our sketches. We were really aware starting out that we had no fans, we had no subscribers, we had no views, we had no idea about YouTube. So we were lucky enough to be able to utilise Christian and Connor's channel to maximise reach. They had 80,000 subscribers at the time. And look, not everyone has that access to just someone's channel. And Christian happens to be my fiance and baby daddy, but that's not the reason why he decided. I didn't make him do it and threaten to break up with him or anything like that. I only do that for gifts and things, so he liked our stuff. If you don't have that access, like Daniel had kind of mentioned as well, other ways in which to align to get views is to align with other collaborators, all that kind of stuff. But also using, and maybe Christian touched on this as well, using the blogs, using big YouTube and Facebook channels that have the same subject matter as your content, sending them the links, getting them to share it. It's a really great way. Unilad, Viral Thread, Pedestrian, Mamma Mia, they're actually quite hungry for content. They're looking for it all the time. So it's a good, once you start making stuff, it's that annoying back end thing that you mentioned, but it's a really great way to start, is you just send them links, send them a little link, send them a little paragraph, get them excited. Eventually they'll start contacting you back. And then also you can just use, your friends and your family, like get them on board, aka blackmail them into clicking on your shit like every day, hourly, for months or years. I've got my granddad on it still, bless his heart. So, as you saw from those photos, our first web series was weird, it was raw, it was full of insane characters, it was confronting, full of swears, full of violence, and a lot of death. Every sketch pretty much ended in death. We were learning. But actually every sketch still ends in death. 5 years later, I don't know, death's cool. So, okay, PowerPoint presentation. If you're at that stage where you have a crew and you have collaborators and maybe you've got a script, pay for sound, but get good crew. Find people that are better at you than that stuff that you don't know. Find your DOP, find an editor, people that are hungry to make stuff, people that want to further their careers. That's a kind of bartering situation that you could kind of do if you don't have much money to begin with. And also, iPhones now. Anyone can be a DOP, anyone can shoot. So start the journey. For anyone that hasn't done any kind of isogenics, culty detoxes, I've started a detox recently, and people just keep texting me like, have you started the journey? Take the plunge. And so that's why I keep saying shit like that, I'm sorry. Okay, so our first pilot. Excuse me. So at the end of 2013, we were contacted by the ABC to create a sketch for them that was part of a small series they were doing called ABC Christmas Quickies. Basically, they were just getting together a bunch of YouTubers and sketch writers to make these wacky little Christmas sketches, and they asked us. We came up with this weird sketch where Santa Claus is delivering presents on Christmas Eve, and these three girls catch him, and they kidnap him and have a three-way with him. Not a sexual one, but an emotional one, where they just kind of let each other's emotions gush out freely, and then they call him a slut. It was weird, and I don't know why, but we got a meeting with Rick Kalowski to pitch ideas shortly after that. Rick Kalowski is the head of comedy at ABC. And after we pitched ideas, he pointed us in the direction of this new initiative that they were coming up with called Fresh Blood, which we got into, and we were able to make a couple of sketches for them, and this is one of them.
Oh, Billy, dinner was sure delicious, but I could sure use some dessert.
I'll give you some dessert.
Oh, Billy, that's way too big for me. I'll never fit that in my mouth. I might need a girlfriend to help me share it.
No, babe. They're fat-free and ethically sourced.
Anyway, that goes on. You can watch it on our YouTube channel if you want.